there's still room, a bit of room in here to lower that. All you have to avoid doing is ending up on the deck.
Yeah.
Which on my, if you notice my Taylor inside, that top E string is about 0.75 of a millimetre off the, and that's brand new.
Yeah.
But they weren't built to expect you to set a nice low action like that. But you know, I would say that if we measure this here, this is still holding together. It's broken and everything. But let's say we look at the top, from the top to the front there, 2.65 mil. So you could, you know, if you had to, you could go 2 mils down on the first fret action. Sorry, last fret action. You know, probably the same, similar on here.
I'm pretty sure with this one, I don't know.
2.2.
I might have shimmed the neck.
No, that's saddle.
The saddle up. No.
Okay.
But I can't remember.
It could be. You never know, because for example, we might lower it down, or we might take it off and find loads of shims under there.
Yeah.
Or we might not, and we might lower it down.
That was this one or the
and then you might suddenly hit a load of uneven frets.
Yeah.
Which means you can't play it at all.
And then there's the.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, let's. So looking at this, your first fret action looks pretty damn good. Actually.
Yeah, it plays nice
Yeah.
to play it as like an open chord banger. Like.
Looking at this, I don't think there's that much movement in it to affect anything we do now. So what I would do is, first of all, let's slacken the...
Also, do you have any other tuners now?
Yeah, I might do.
Because I know this one is definitely pretty sharp. Like,
it's crunchy.
Yeah,
we'll try. Okay, let's get it to pitch, and then no, we don't want it to pitch. Let's take the strings slack, and then we'll pull this out. No, let's get it to pitch first and see what the actual playing action is.
It should be. I tuned it like just the other day. I got it out.
Spot on. It's like, okay, so hey, now here's something that you'd like to get your brain around, and viewers of this YouTube channel would love you for it. Okay, I'm going to draw you a little picture, and I want you, Mark, to solve this problem with your knowledge of how to research things online. It's dead easy. You'll be able to do it. But you'll put that aside. You'll be able to give me a formula. Hold the camera. Pointing at it. Right. So, when you have an action, right? Let's say there's your bridge saddle, right? And there's your strings, yeah. Okay, and you want to lower it, right? And you say to yourself, okay, I want to lower it. Let's say we're currently at 3.5. And really, let's say I want it at 2 there, yeah?
Yeah.
So I know that I want to minus 1.5 off that playing action there. But because this is a triangle, right? We know that 1.5 there is more there.
Yeah.
Right? And
so
Pythagoras will tell us how much more, but I don't know. We'll call it X.
Yeah.
Find X.
Yeah.
Right?
It's there. I can see it. It's just there.
I know. Internet memes are us.
I love that joke.
So now here's what I do. I go, oh, well, I want to take 1.5, so I'm going to do 1.5 off there. Now the truth is that's going to turn into about 1 there. So it's going to be less.
Yeah.
Right. So you're conservative. So if you took 1.5 off that, you won't be at your 1.5. So if you take this one, you go last fret action, we go 3, just over 3. Right. So we'll call it 3, and we go, well actually 2 is a nice action for that. So we'll take away 1, yeah?
Okay, so the first thing is, the thing that you know that's a definite is the length between the nut and the saddle.
Scale length.
Right, so that's your scale length.
Yep.
So that is going to impact, and there's
so
like a tiny angle at
B squared,
this
C
end.
squared,
I can't work it out off the top of my head.
I know you're going to go to the internet, but I thought I'd set you that problem.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Because I've been too lazy to work it out. So the scale length, right, is, well, come on, man. Okay, let's take, let's call it 654, and it's not exactly familiar, but 654 millimeters, right? So we know that we want to reduce. Well, we want this to end up being 1 there. We know that this is 654 length.
Yeah, you know that
We currently know what that is.
You know that you've got a right angle and a height.
We've got a right angle.
And if we've got one angle
Which is A, B,
and the
C,
two
isn't it?
heights, we know we can work out what all the others are.
Yeah, but what's type?
But then it's trying to work out what
an
angle
within
you
that.
change that at to lower that by a certain amount, which lowers that by its.
Or the other calculation I want from you in your research, right, is I want you to know that roughly for a given scale length, I want a ratio, so that if I'm aiming for one here, you can immediately tell me what
what
it
height
is there.
you want.
Now I'm going to guess. I could say let's call it 1.2.
Yeah.
We can't go wrong. It's not going to be 1.2. It's not double the height there, is it? No, but I mean it doesn't look like it. So what I tend to do is I tend to go for the one, which, as you know, I mean you could do it in squares and things, rectangles. There's your one, right?
The other problem is
So there's the additional bit here, and there's the one there. So we call that sort of x2.
the other problem is it's not a perfect triangle, is it? Because the neck isn't straight.
It is, because you can take a line from above the frets to the bottom of the.
So that's another variance.
But there's your nut, right? And there's your. Well, what is that then?
That's going to be.
No, you're right.
So you'd have to do it the other way round, almost, because the only definite straight line
So you've got
is the
that,
strings.
You've got that and that, right? That's your nut and your bridge, right? And you know you've actually got a line.
Now, Sam, we're upside down. The only straight line is the string. So that's a definite straight line.
Yeah, but there it is, green.
Yeah.
That's the string. What it's doing is.
And that's the straight line that we've got.
Right, but we know that underneath that we've got. What is it that we're drawing?
A curve.
There you go. That's ruined. That's
yeah.
ruined the calculation. I'll just go for one. And guess the rest. Thank you, Mark.
That's all right. Well, I saved hours of
Hours of internet
frustration.
research. Right, we'll call it one, and then I know I'll be on the safe side. And if we want it a bit more, we'll take a bit more. Right. So what did we say? We said 3. We're going to go to 2. Let's just see what it is on the other end. 3 to 2.
I'll put the camera back on its
Oh,
thingy.
yeah. 3 to 2, and that's the same. That's 3
Swerving
3.2.
3.2.
Right, 3.2. Right. So they're kind of similar. So they could right. So they're about the same, but they could do with the gradient. So we're going to go from top E to bottom E. We're going to go. I think we want to go 1.5 to 2, whereas currently it's 3 and 3. Yeah. So we got minus 1.5 and minus 1. Those are the target removals from your saddle, and that's conservative. We know that we're taking it here so that the actual reduction translation will be less down there. So that's why I call it conservative. Right. So let's whip these fellas off. I'm not sure.
The strings have been on there for about. So it was in the case when I moved house. That was a year ago. It had been in the case. When did I live before I lived in this place? It had probably been in the case for most of the duration of living at the previous house, which is probably about 4 years, 5 years. I got it when I was living with Kat and Kieran some years ago.
Do that note. Ready?
Years ago.
You bad boy. Residual stretch in your strings. They'll never stay in
Those strings
tune.
have been on there for years.
I know, but that's what I'm trying to prove.
But good proof. Like those strings have
I
been
set
on there
that
for
up.
years
I mean,
and
but yeah, exactly. So that is why you can't just tune it up one step sharp and then by tomorrow morning it'll all be worked out. It doesn't work like that. You have to physically wring it out. He said for the 50,000th time. But yeah, it's true. So a couple of years old, and you can still bend the string or pull it or whatever.
I think I put that guitar away 4 or 5 years ago.
And you can still pull slack out of it.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's the longest.
I got it out and it was almost still in tune.
But that's not the issue, is it?
Yeah.
The issue is that as soon as you put a bend into it, it'll go out of tune, and then you have to stop and tune out before you can play again the next song, whatever. But so it's just incredible demonstration of how long it stays in there. And there really are people who think you can just tune it up and it will work itself out overnight.
The people that make strings, they'll be like really happy about the fact that their strings contain that much stretch. Like,
because people think they have to replace them.
It's got extra stretch. That's really good.
Clang.
Clang.
It's quite heavy gauge, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they were probably, these have been on before I switched to using 10s and acoustics. These would be 11s.
Right. which may you may also help your bridge bellying to reduce the gauge a bit. I mean, if you can keep this somewhere that's drier.
Yeah. Well, it's been in a case on top of a wardrobe in a room.
Well, maybe put some dessicants in there.
Yeah,
or something,
yeah.
Just to see.
I've got loads of it knocking about because I was going to try and use it to dry my car out.
Do you know what I did? We had a massive flooding problem on our sunroof. I just went around it with Gorilla Tape. Yeah. Solved. Absolutely solved.
I ended up having to get rid of my car.
You got a bit of a... Which car?
The Puma.
Gone.
Yeah.
You got a bit of a ski slope down here.
Doesn't surprise me.
It's sort of the hump around here, which may be a problem.
I'll look up the serial number because when I got it, it was 20-something years old.
Right.
And like I say, I've had it for probably 6
You have
years.
shimmed it. That's because there was almost nothing
there. Yeah. And it was just...
Right, because it's got the electrics, but it's not working. You're not using the electrics, right?
No. Right.
A cool little shim.
That was out of lolly stick, I think.
You've carved it.
Yeah.
You've made a little edge to it and everything.
Yeah, I made it exactly the same shape as that.
And you've shimmed at the back or something? Oh, no, that's the element.
That's the element, yeah. And that was in there already, that other piece of wood. So.
No. Okay, so there's blimey. There's a little shim pushing the element against the side so it doesn't move.
So you get a flat. You've actually got a flat.
Then you've got a shim that fits in, custom carved by you to fit in the.
Well, put this in without the, and then you'll see why I put the.
Yeah, because it will rock or something with it.
Well, it was just so low. Like so.
Yeah. Well, you still.
And because I was trying to get it to a playable bass, and because you remember when me telling you the reason that I wanted you to have a look at it is because I couldn't adjust the neck anymore. Yeah. Like so. It's kind of lots of component
there are a few things going on here. Let's have a look. Let's take a look under the neck bit. I've just ordered some new screwdrivers because I seem to have gone through all of the heads and they're all starting to...
What I really like about it is it's got this really old Epiphone logo.
Oh yeah.
And it says Gibson on the truss rod cover. It's like back when Epiphone were
proud,
still busy pretending they had something to do with Gibson.
Now the only relationship they have is they're better than Gibson.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah. Well, it depends on what you're after, isn't it?
So they say. Yeah. So that well, first of all, that thing we've just taken off, that shim, that lolly stick shim we've just taken off, is, well, it's hard to tell what thick it is, but I guess we go from this side.
Yeah.
The upside's about 1.5 or something, so it could be 1.4. But it doesn't give us quite the same. It doesn't give us quite the same. Yeah, it's 1.4 all the way across, roughly. So, okay, we can't get the gradient that I might be after, but we might.
I think it's because if you look at that, there's like a low edge and a high edge.
There's a gradient on here as well. Yeah.
Because there's a notch in the bottom of that, so I wanted to have the saddle to sit on something flat.
This important bit. Actually, I mean, you haven't been using it electronically, but that wouldn't be so great for the electrics.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute, which is the...
It's the high end, isn't it? Yeah.
1, 2. Yeah. Stagger back. Okay, so I'll put that aside. That's that.
So we just lowered the action by 1.4 mils.
Yeah, just like that.
6 seconds. Take out.
In fact, that's practically all we needed to do on one side. It won't be perfect, but so what we've got is I'm bending it now just by holding it that way, but it's not that bad. But there's a definite hump here.
Yeah.
Which I would probably fix with fret leveling.
Yeah.
You know that's one of the things about that curved fret leveling process. It will actually gently carve away that hump, whereas pretty much nothing else will.
Yeah.
This thing about people talk about falling off is where they take a basically they take the kind of everything from here and they just carve backwards, which means that everything behind there is guaranteed to be lower than everything before it. You might as well just start from there and carve everything backwards, and then you'll never have any fret problems. But then by the time you get there, you won't have any frets.
You'll still have a massive high action because you've moved everything away from the frets.
Yeah. So there is a definite feel of a. I know it's not a warp exactly, but it's a. There's some shear. There's some cracks there.
Yeah.
From force, so it's been something's hit it. And there's a little fine. Actually, there is a crack in there, but it's very fine. So it's had a bash somewhere. Let's see if the thing works. The truss rod.
Oh, I didn't tell you. You know, I was looking for a Les Paul with the serial number.
Yeah, your special.
I found one that was born the day before me, and it was like £2.5 grand. So I was like, well, no, for £2.5 grand, I want it to be born on the same day as me.
Okay, so you wanted a bit more curve, didn't you?
Well, yeah. Well, I just wanted to set it up right, but it was
okay. Because as I get it right now, it's loose, right?
Yeah.
And then we can crank it into a tightening.
Yeah, because it's
we should see a pronounced curve appear. Because that's what it'll do. It'll create a hump in it. But you didn't need more hump. You needed less hump.
Yeah.
So
and I think it's because it's only I'm guessing it's just a single way truss rod because it's really old.
Yeah.
Like, and so there was very little actual play adjustment or anything in it.
Yeah, it's bending out. I don't know if you can see it in there. Let's put a bit of a bow into it, or a hump. It's a bit, but it's...
Yeah, kind of.
The problem is you don't need that, you want it the other way.
Yeah.
You want it in its resting place, you want it to be pulled into a bow, or sorry, into a relief curve by the strings. And if it's a one-way one, unless it actively counters it that way, it's not going to do it. So we're sort of stuck with what it is. We could hack off the fingerboard and put a new one under there. No thanks.
Oh, that only takes 5 minutes with our patented method.
I did have, I don't know where it's gone, maybe I threw it away. I had one that I pulled out one of my Chinese necks, the ones for the Oakcasters.
Yeah.
And it literally was two-way. Totally amazed me.
Yeah.
It actually worked, and it went and then it went the other way. And I just thought, none of these are these standard things.
Yeah.
You know, they call them two-way, and somebody told me the reason they call them two-way is because they is only because they feature two pieces, a bar and a rod. That's very clever, and so you can see it, with a bit of crank, it's bowing the thing. But if you go the other way, that's it. It just falls off the end.
Yeah.
And so you start from either flat or
whatever shape
whatever.
the was in,
So that's like this. So it's not really going anywhere. And all you can hope for is that your strings under load pull enough relief into it.
Yeah.
If they don't, the other thing you can do is one more time on this is using the fret leveling method. You can put a tiny bit of curve, even if, let's say you put the strings on, this is dead flat, right, but you need a bit more curve. You can put a tiny bit of curve into the truss rod and actually cut it into here, so that the cut is a little bit bigger here than it is there. And you've faked.
Still quite a lot of fret.
Do you see what I mean? You faked a curve into an otherwise straight. So it's possible with that method, but you couldn't do it with a flat one.
Yeah.
You'd just be, all you can do is level this and flatten it.
Get rid of frets.
Or you can cure concavity. Convexity with a flat one, but then you still depend on the strings to pull you the bit of relief you need. But what I'm saying is, if we use the fret leveling with the strings on, you can see how much relief you're missing, and you can just go right. You can calibrate your tool, and you can just crank it a bit more
to give it a tiny bit.
And what you're doing is you're faking it in the middle, and it's a bit like this. That same curve will also hack away at this if there is a hump, like it looks like there is here. So it seems to me that that's probably a good thing to do with this if you're going to get any more playing out of it.
Yeah. Just brought it up to experiment with, really.
Because we can't do. There's no point playing any more with that because there's nothing we can do with it. Short of replacing it with a genuine two-way one. So I'm just going to go. This is a bass end, isn't it? So I remember which is which. Well, we're going to look at this other thing, which is exciting. The crack! Ready? Ooh, can you see it? It's hard to Try and make sure nothing else bends and moves. That's very hard to see. There is a tiny little bit of movement in there. It's so small. It's not in a bad shape, but I don't think we're going to crank it any further enough to get anything into it. So if it's not going out of tune, and when I picked it out just now, it was in tune from where you left it. So
it's just these. I know that those tuners are shot. I can feel that one just. Otherwise, not too bad. It's mostly just that low E.
What I've got. I've got a pile of things that live in this thing. I packaged all these things up that I was going to sell, and I forgot to list them. So it's like Christmas. 6 inline square tuners. Who gets this for a present? 6 inline vintage Chinese tuner. Left-hand tuners, Cluson style. 3 times Sun Mustang coil, single coils. 3 aside chrome tuners and screws. Hold those. That could be possible. They're not exactly matching, but
no, it
could be a replacement if they're all really bad. Humbuckers, 3 times single coils, cheese and pickle, salmon and cucumber. Single coil. I think it's all pickups after that. Gold Les Paul knobs. Les Paul's got knobs until they come out my ears.
So you get buying rubbishy guitars and put nice gear in them.
It's true.
Loads of rubbishy gear.
Left over. I've got these, but these are 6 in line. I think these are 6 in line. It doesn't tell me, but I'm pretty sure they are. And 03.
No, that's through.
Wilkinson 03 CR. What would that stand for? They package them themselves up at Northwest Guitars, so they don't make a lot of sense.
Oh, right. I thought they're not. So they're not. Oh, they are just Wilkinson.
Yeah, they're Wilkinsons, but they put them on their own branding. It's a white labelling-y thing.
That's weird.
But the problem with that is I don't know. Just looking at that now, without taking them out, I can't remember whether they're.
Yeah.
No, there's another option here. So I've got some singles that might just.
They do. Yeah, singles is probably.
But they don't match exactly, but they'll work.
Yeah, I think these are 6 in a line because they've all got the.
Okay, we'll go in the same direction.
Yeah,
that makes sense. I find it a bit like a Chinese riddle. So we got that one would be a left-hander. You say that one's knackered, is it?
Yeah.
How do you? That's just.
It's just loose.
It's more than loose, isn't it? Do you remember which are definitely?
Well, it was this one that was definitely like giving grief when trying to tune it. It was like it kept going
grab the black
back and forth.
Adjustable spanner off the side there. So we've got one that could be changed out, which is similar looking. Let's get that off. Oh yeah, so it's a complete duffer. I'll just bin it. Ooh, it's all spongy. Everything moves. And line up to do some routing in a minute when Claire wakes up. Shrieking noise to please the whole neighbourhood. Oh, of course we'll have a screw on the other side. Don't know what brand these were, but
well, that's when you get round to thinking, well, maybe it's time to change the shed.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems to comes with a whole load of other concerns, doesn't it? If you start thinking about moving out to a premises, you got rents and
use the same shed, but you could lie in it, couldn't you?
That's true. Well, this is just a one-off changeover, and it may or may not be better than what you had. It's not a perfect match, but it's actually probably if it tunes up, then it's probably.
Yeah, that was the problem with the old one. It was like when you're trying to get the low E in tune, it'd be like Oh, that's a few cents above.
Ah.
Clunk, that's a few cents low. Like
Right.
Clunk, that's a few cents above. Yeah.
I've got a bad feeling that this has to be that one, which is a bit off colour, but
I think it's fine.
you would live with it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are going with a replacement.
It's one of those guitars that I put away because I didn't know really what to do with it. I was like, yeah.
Okay, well, that's definitely. Let's do this the honours of binning it. There are 3 more of these petal tulip things. Two for the.
I would bin it, but I don't know where your bin is.
Oh, right, hanging off Morrison's bag.
Oh.
So we've got a whole side here in tulips that we could use. Those are chrome, so they don't really match up. So, okay, right. Why don't we shove on?
Unless we just switch them out for chrome ones.
Yeah, but these, I think these are.
They...
I think they'll be fairly naff quality. No offence.
No.
No offence to the buyer. Actually, they're average. I don't know what they came off. I'm happy to do that if you want to.
Do they work?
Yeah, they do. They're nothing bad about them. They just came off a relatively cheap guitar, as most of these spare bits do.
Yeah.
Let's just see what we got in terms of a set. But you're welcome to pull. Ah, wait a minute. Have I got something wrong here?
Right.
This is telling me it's not. Oh, hang on. Am I mad? That and that. No, they are 3 aside, aren't they?
Yeah.
I might just lose my.
You just put one of them up that way around instead.
Yeah, all right.
Confuse yourself.
Good. Okay, do you want to peel off your goldens
Alright.
and then try to change them out, and then once you've done that, we can have a go at restringing and getting funny with the fret leveling, and see if we can first of all see if we can get it playing with the nut as is, sorry, the saddle as is, and then if not, we'll see whether it needs grinding down to compliance. Hey, that saved me listing those on eBay, which I wasn't going to do anyway. It's got this load of things I'm not doing anything
I've got
with.
a box like that.
There's a screwdriver,
Like spare lights
screwdriver
for cars.
with the
and
right
things.
head for the this thing. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? You might as well just give it away in the end. Say to somebody, here, come and get a load of bits
Yeah.
for free.
So have you seen the Pink Floyd Experience? Is it the
Oh, where is it?
Victoria and Albert Museum in London?
What is
It's
it?
going to be there for...
Like a tribute band?
No, it's like a 2.5 hour experience, like multimedia and all of loads of bits of memorabilia and stuff like that. And,
I didn't see it.
yeah, it looks pretty cool. I'm kind of tempted because it's on for until October, and I'm kind of tempted to go for my birthday in August. It's
Yeah.
down for a day. Like,
See, look, we've got 1 millimetre between the peak of this lowest. Sorry, change subject. Between the crest and the apex of this high E and low E, we're about a millimetre clearance off the deck. So even with a downward curve angle, you still clear the.
I've got a feeling. Well, I must have done that for a reason.
Yeah, you watch it. You'll set it low, and then you'll hit this mess here. I can see just looking at it as a hump here, or a mess. But we can either carve it out with the miracle method, or we can't. And we might as well give it a go, eh? Since we've mashed up every one of your guitars today so far.
Yeah, I thought I was going to tidy up some fret ends and lower the saddle slightly.
It cost me the entire resale value of my Tanglewood. My sister sent me a text a couple of days ago saying, what guitar would you buy for a 7-year-old? And I said, definitely not a classical, and definitely not a child's guitar, which pretty much leaves you with the kind of the little travel
size, triple low size.
Yeah, travel version of that Tanglewood. It was a good one.
Yeah.
Or a Taylor. And I just, she plays, and I just said, if you bought yourself a second-hand Taylor Baby, you and Dave, her husband, would play it as much as Ada would, a little boy. So, if it was just a kid and no one else in the family played, then it would be a different matter. You'd be stuck with an expensive, but then you could sell it. But since they're both players, it's a good thing to do. How are we doing over here in
glue land.
Strange splitting wood noise land. I hope it was my sacrificial piece of wood. Oh well. Yeah, this was a neck that I sort of cured a slight twist on, and it was Matthias's Fender, Japanese Fender neck, which I just ended up messing around with some copper coat. But anyway, the point was it was a test, and I clamped it and steamed it, and then twisted the the headstock to match.
Yeah.
And I think it's pretty much almost completely cured it. The other thing as well is when people say quite a few people say I've got a guitar with a slight twist in the neck. I found that I've not found one severe enough that it actually makes any difference to how it plays, which is a bit odd.
Yeah, well, you know that Les Paul that we did of mine.
Yeah.
Like, it was.
Yeah, I've never come across one that just you immediately go, oh, twisted neck, can't play it.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the kind of problems that people sometimes report are usually caused by something else. They'll see a twist in the neck and they'll go, oh, the frets are choking all over the place, can't play it. And that's because the frets are uneven or something similar.
That's a dent on the top here, probably.
So I've got to route this baby down a bit, but I've got to get this level, and it wasn't quite level the first time, and I don't know what happened. I can actually see it tailing off in one corner, and if anything I would have thought this thing would have bent here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
On this side, because it's not supported by anything, but it's that corner that's gone down.
Yeah.
So maybe the router wasn't tightly done up or something. That's what I'm going to do. 30mm pick up cavities and get the drill and dig a hole.
I'm a going digging.
Look at this, my custom built storage facility.
Nice.
Magnets everywhere.
Just don't swallow them.
Don't put your phone too close to them.
That's why they banned buckyballs in America, because children were swallowing them.
Buckyballs?
Yeah, it's just incredibly strong magnets.
Okay, why are children? Oh, you mean accident?
Yeah. Why are children swallowing them? Because they like
can.
putting things in their mouths and the parents aren't watching, and the parents buy.
And then what happens? It sort of upsets the children.
Yeah, I think they were
playing
deaths.
on the iPad or something. Oh,
I
it
think they
kills
were
them.
deaths. Yeah. Yeah, pretty. Or if you swallow more than one, they get stuck together in your bowels.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh!
And just hold bits of
my
you
God,
together.
You just remind me of something, and I don't think it had to do with bowels. I'll just warn you now. But when I was working with Delta 7...
Oh look, these have had.
Yeah, so another tuner's on.
Yeah, and so these long ones.
A second.
Would have they would. Right, they're totally different type of tuner. They're the open backed ones.
No, they may have been. There's another kind you can get like these, but they're a bit like this, but they have a rounded back, and they have a central one comes out. In fact, I've got them on most of my. If you look indoors, anyway, I've got them on most of my Oakcasters. For some reason, a particular one has a central.
But someone cared enough at some point to go through and fill all the holes.
Yep.
Guitar archaeology. It's just a word I just made up.
That's right. Tony Robinson. But yeah, so I used to work with, do a lot with magnets, and I used to use them for holding up pictures on frames when we used to go and present to people and stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember buying a bunch of these magnets one day, and them saying there was a warning on the pack saying something like, caution, these very powerful, could cause blah blah blah. And I didn't pay any warning, and I took these neodymium magnets out thing, and the damn thing slammed together, pinching my finger. Oh, it was so painful. And I can imagine you getting them. If you imagine getting them stuck together inside you, somewhere, and then clamping a bit of your stomach.
To another bit of your stomach, or to part of your lower intestine.
Or on the way out.
Yeah.
Or am I taking care of these hemorrhoids? Okay, on 30mm hole depth, but this ain't it. This is where is it? Maybe it is. It's 20. I remember drilling a starter hole for the routing in the electrics cavity one day in one of my Oakcasters and just going straight through and out the back.
Like, whoops.
Because I had no guide and nothing to guide it, to stop it. And of course the drill grabs and pulls.
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
And it was shit. And this guide thing, it moves, but I don't quite know how it's supposed to move. It's not. I'm sure I'm not doing this right. I'm sure there's supposed to be a simpler way that if I slack this off it moves, but I can't.
That would make sense.
It would, but I've tried it and it doesn't seem to. It doesn't move either way. And I want it to.
Because it looks like that is. I mean, that's compressing. The handle is compressing.
Yeah.
Maybe you just need to slack it off
You'd
more.
think, wouldn't you?
More slack.
It's not working. I know, get a small hammer and see what happens when you hit it.
Right into your leg.
Nothing, it just sort of bends a lot. And I could do with precision tools, but I haven't got them. I want a.
What's that nut on the top there?
That's what the handle's connected to. You pull this off and try and make this move. Oh, now it moves that way. Oh, now it moves that way too. So maybe this could do with being done up. As soon as you stretch this, it seems to get stuck.
Well, have a look inside before you. Like.
Oh, you problem solver. Yeah. You're not even the right way in.
So it doesn't look
Yeah,
like
there's only one direction you can put it in, which is that way up. Oh,
yeah.
Hovis loaf shaped. Okay. So what I want
Is
is,
that going the right way?
I've lost track now. 30 mil.
Your lower numbers at this end.
Is that right? Let's just shove it on there a minute.
Yeah, it means you've got the high numbers at that end.
Well, at least it's moving. That's pretty good. Thank you. How can
I think it might need to be taken out and put back in again though.
Yeah, I'll find out that it won't now do up. I guess I just want to stop this popping all the way through and out the other side. That's the main thing. So the Pink Floyd Experience is a kind of a whole lot memorabilia.
Yeah, yeah. It's
History
it's
of-
supposed to take like a good 2.5 to 3 hours to go around the whole thing and look at everything and watch all the little videos and listen to all of the audios and stuff like that. It's like
Talbot,
pretty good.
Talbot Hall.
Yeah, Victorian. Yeah.
Victorian Albert Hall. And that'll do me as a stop bar, providing it doesn't move anywhere. Hey, it's locked in place. That's what it should. Okay, sounds good. I've got to go up and visit my ma, and she would love to see that.
Yeah.
She would absolutely love to see it if she hasn't. Oh, she wouldn't know. I'm not sure she'd know it was on. Maybe we could combine that, because I want to go and see her. She's moved into. I don't know if you know, if I mentioned it to you. She formed up with a group of people called Ouch,
Right.
Older Women's Housing Cooperative, and it's you may have seen it on the news recently. It's the first cooperative of older women housing who've come together to. A bunch of owners have sold and bought, or they've built a custom gated compound sort of thing where they all live together. It has a couple of social housing things for one or two people, of which one is my mum, and she contributes in terms of doing their website and publicity for them and stuff.
Right.
And together they're living out their golden days in a place that they design themselves,
Yeah.
in a kind of communal setting with enough privacy to be separate,
Yeah, yeah.
but enough support to be
Yeah.
not
part of something.
lonely women.
Yeah, yeah.
And most of them are single women. So, in fact, all of them I think are. But it's fantastic, and they've done it. They've taken them 4 or 5 years of struggle and strife to get through all the bureaucracy to do it.
Paperwork, yeah.
And they've got people now all over the country coming to them to how to do it.
Can we do another one?
To do another one. It's just a great idea, instead of shoving people into lonely little crappy flats. So my mum's gone from a really shitty flat in Lewisham to this beautiful breezy place with a balcony and
nice.
light and friends. And
Yeah, yeah.
The trouble is she's suffering from fibromyalgia as well, so she's really not well.
Uh-huh.
But I wanted to go up and see the place and help her build some shelves and stuff, so that would be such a great combined thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not planning. I wasn't planning on going till August.
So it sounds about right to me.
Yeah. All right. So I'd probably think of going up on the.
It's probably safer to go down.
Yeah, on the top.
And near your room. Less likely to scrape the. Not that it's pristine anyway, but yeah. Good on. Shoot. Yeah, that sounds really good. I know she'd be absolutely thrilled if I said to her, right, coming up on this weekend, and we're going to take you to a Pink Floyd, because she's the oldest Pink Floyd fan on the planet. I pulled up. I went to Cambridge the other day, you know, on that day for a meeting, and we used to live in Cambridge years ago, late 80s.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I drove round to the house where we lived.
So
long ago.
My aunt still lives in Cambridge.
Really?
Yeah.
And so we track each other across the country, don't we?
Yeah, yeah.
But went back and took a picture of the house, and it looks identical. Sent her a picture, and she was like, "Oh my God, no! How many years?" About 35, maybe more. Okay, so to do this, if you want to shove back on those strings, I'll drill some holes in this. If you can put,
were they?
You might put them over there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll put them back on for sacrificial purposes, to test out the action, and then we'll use them also to do any fret leveling that we need. So we've dropped the action by 1.5 roughly, and if there are going to be any problems with the frets, they're going to show up as soon as you do that up to tension. And this, hoik that off there for a minute while I drill some starter holes in the background on the floor, ready for fun and games later on. Reality. Yeah, it's very weird to go and see a place you haven't seen for like 30 plus years.
Yeah, I do periodically want to go to Seaford, but I haven't been there for...
Seaford? I went to Seaford once. Of course. Undoubtedly.
Yeah. I lived there for most of my early life. That was
Yeah.
when I was a kid.
Amazing. Right, 30mm is not going to drill right through this. Right, that's good. Slow and steady. Three holes for a starter in each of these works.
I'm trying to work if someone has varnished the tops of these pegs, you know? They have.
Yeah. Three holes in each one, ready to go, and then three in the back. Out loud, thinks to himself, we're going 30mm. 30mm takes us to there, which is not actually deep enough. But we're going to take that down some more. Right, let's start with that and come back and do it again. I have got a bad back.
So drilling things into the floor probably not an excellent way to help it.
Somebody suggested on for Facebook the other day that he said he wouldn't be surprised to see Reloved Guitars pickups shortly.
Yeah,
And Claire and I had talked about this before and thought, actually, why not?
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things that the only thing that stands between us and doing it is learning about it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm not saying that it doesn't take millions of years of blah blah blah, hard work and experience.
Well, there's a whole lot of other people's experience that
Exactly.
you can learn from straight away, isn't
Exactly.
there?
I mean, not exact. You know, it's not like I spent 1,000 years going to Lucia school. I know that's a shock, isn't it? Sorry, everyone. But I thought that would suit Claire down to the ground, actually.
Yeah.
And she was kind of interested, so I was yeah. It suddenly loomed as a
Bespoke hand wound pickups.
exactly
Very
with
nice.
a Morris logo
Yeah.
carrying the famous brand. But of course, it would be a fun process of learning to begin with. Find out, you know, what's what and what works and
You
what
need some
doesn't.
magnets and some wire.
That's true. But I think the thing that interests me about the whole thing is that it is in one sense incredibly subjective. So I find that quite a challenge. How do you play into a field unless it isn't subjective, right? You know, there are people who go, oh no, I can tell that's a fantastic quality pickup, yeah? You know, bare knuckle, absolutely brilliant. I don't quite know how we know that, other than by listening to it with our subjective ears and going, yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I like that more than that one.
Yeah, and actually, I'm not even sure if I'm, at the moment, have that much discernment. Which
Yeah.
is, I don't mind admitting it, you know, I'm not.
Well,
I'm
I'd like to
not
think
this.
I can tell the difference between the Seymour Duncan ones and the cheap Fender ones or the cheap Epiphone ones.
Yeah, but have you noticed how you would describe the difference is necessarily subjective, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like warmer, creamier, thicker, richer, wider,
Yeah.
slower.
And that's just got to do with the amount of wines and the randomness of wines, but I couldn't describe it in
And other
terms of
secret ingredients.
thickness of wire.
And other secret, yeah. Origin of the tone wood or something, I don't know. No, but yeah, there are a limited number of variables possible, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think it would not be impossible to learn and experiment, and actually it would be fun.
Yeah.
You know, and it's sort of narrow enough a focus to enjoy playing a lot with a small range of things.
Yeah.
Which is quite why I like doing the Oakcasters and keeping them kind of the same all the time. Not the same, but you know, not making billions of different shapes and trying loads of different things. But
Well,
it's
what
nice
you're
to
doing
it's nice to get good at one thing.
is you're undertaking a series of R&D, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, you're just doing it in a more targeted way than like maybe the larger companies do, because you're stuck with slower manufacturing techniques and
How dare you? You mean more bespoke and artisanal?
well, yeah.
I hate that word. For obvious reasons. And especially if you put it near a restaurant. I don't want the word anal next to my menu. Do you know what I mean? Sorry, viewers. but-
Artisanal.
Yeah, no, honestly, I don't want any reference to such thing next to my olives and bread platter. Damn it. Anyway, but yeah, but so within that, I could certainly use your ears and or any kind of crazy scientist experimental input,
Yeah.
because I guess that Reloved Guitars pickups would have to have a bit of an element of the iconoclastic, you know, sort
Yeah,
of
well-
willing to sort of buck the convention a little bit and say, well, why?
Yeah.
You know, surely.
At the end of the day, if you've got a wire wrapped round, like one wire wrapped round a magnet, and you run you attach that to a speaker or an amplifier, you're gonna
get noise.
You're gonna get noise, 'cause that's how they work. Like,
I mean, even though I don't understand it, I totally believe there is, there is a certain amount of empirical expertise and information that I need to know and experiment with. Something in it works a certain way. So you can't just jump in with no experience. But I think there's
only three or four variables. There's the amount of winds, the thickness of wire,
kind of wire, and type of magnet.
Yeah,
position of the pickup.
And then you have other ones, I guess, the ones that are active, you can have as electromagnets.
Hey, you're jumping ahead of the game, man.
Well, it's just the only other thing.
Yeah. Look, there's my router starter holes.
Yeah. And it doesn't come through the other side. Always bonus.
One of them's not actually deep enough on the back, but I always end up having to do a secondary route on that because it's really, you've got to get, those electric cavities have got to be so close to the surface. You know what I mean? You've got to be very careful how you do them. That's where I'd like the Dremel for. That would be really handy. I've got the Dremel, I just haven't, I don't know how to use the... Would you bring it up one day, Charlie?
Yeah.
God, look at the low action on that baby. It's like my Taylor. It is actually. But you're clear of the wood. But we will find an absolute choke going on here, I guarantee you. This is the point in the proceedings where I say, if these strings last just long enough to do the fret leveling, we'll be in.
So I've helpfully strung that one round the wrong way, round the post, just to make life interesting.
Good. You're the kind of guy I like to see selling guitars on eBay, so I can look at them and go, ha! Let's take a test note, shall we?
I'll let you do that.
Oh, I'm going to be careful bending over.
Stand out of the way, this is nuts. Done all these crunchy bits of oak. I showed the guy in Guitars kit, I showed him Oakcaster that he made me.
What did he say?
That's really cool.
He said, ha! Oak!
And I showed him the ones that I made, like the ones that I modified and stuff. Showed him the carved top and everything. It's like, oh, that's really cool. Like,
a bit crunchy that tuner, but
yeah.
Not the end of the world.
Remember, it almost goes the other way.
Yeah. I know that, but I think your wire is slipping, Captain.
Yeah.
It's got a bit of grime to it as well. This is what you get when you don't wind enough winds on. It just falls straight off. It's amazing.
The joy of using, like...
It's amazing how much will wind off. Until it catches. Ooh. Watch and see if the neck cracks off now.
Yeah. Bang! Oh, I should go that way, wouldn't I?
Thanks.
I'll drill it for you because my back's not quite as bad as yours.
Go for the sympathy vote.
Where's the pack?
Sort of sits on the shelf somewhere there.
Oh.
It's definitely unwinding. It's amazing. Either that or the headstock's about to snap off. Well, for starters. Okay, so we have the now reduced action. Not happy with the tuning part of things. Go the right way. Well, it's remarkably good, considering. So why on earth you put a shim under there in the first place is beyond me. He said, bending over carefully to switch that off. It's more of a muscle, but it's protecting some bad thing in my disc.
Yeah.
There's a spasming muscle, as it were. That is playable. Still needs to go and live in a more drier environment. Bizarrely, you can see under load that has opened a little bit. You can feel the edge of it. There's no real way of getting glue into there without cracking
without breaking it more.
Yeah, in which case then you end up having to kind of pin it and all kinds of shizzle. Or in this case, it probably would work with a screw going in, a long screw going into these two pieces. But it's very hard to get the angle exactly right. I've done it on another one that I've lent to Malcolm. But that's not causing the instability, that's just a mechanical thing. If that goes, that'll just go in one go. Or it will yawn open so far that you could get glue in it and we can take care of it then. But actually as a player, that really doesn't need anything else doing. You could just clean the frets with the rubbers. I don't even think it doesn't even need levelling. All the notes play.
Yeah.
I'd say get the rubbers on it,
Weird.
put some new strings on it and put it somewhere dry.
Call it a day.
Call it a day. You put it somewhere dry so that it doesn't doesn't get any more humidity in. But it's going to be, you could, if you wanted to keep it in future, you could always get one of those Bridge Doctor things. They're about 30 quid. Take a few weeks for it to arrive, but quite good fun to practice with because it's a whole new thing. It apparently improves the tone as well because it holds all of this quite rigid or stiffens up the internal structure, which they say projects a better tone. These are okay. They're not great. They're not much worse than those. I don't have any better sets, unfortunately.
No,
otherwise, you could have
crappy ones at home. But
you could have had them. That's got some cracking down there, so but that's not going to go anywhere. That's nice. We fill that with some lacquer. That's just going out of tune mainly because that needs more than two winding.
Literally just poke through and done up.
Get the black sticky thing with the slot. Then I can give you the fret rubber. And I've got two grades. You got to give it up pulling the shed windows out.
Snap.
I've got two grades of fret rubber available.
Gaffer tape. That's really gaffery.
Oh yeah, that's Gorilla Tape. That is. It's the business. I'm going to sort of cut if I can. I don't have the right blade to do this. Cut you a flat edge on these so you can get a good bend the strings. Yeah, definitely keep me in mind with the old Pink Floyd experience because then it would be great if I could maybe combine it with going up anyway to see my ma.
Yeah.
And she would be so thrilled to go and see it with company. I'm sure she'd love that.
Yeah, I mean at the moment it was just like an idea in the back of my head.
You met her, didn't you? You know
yeah.
You probably would have met her many times coming over to babysit the kids.
Yeah.
or we played Xbox games or something. There you go, look, so I cut you some fresh edges
lovely.
to work with. Otherwise it just gets into a rut.
Yeah. Mine are quite rutted.
And that obviously is my attempt at making it a little bit
Less likely to
stickier, although we could probably do some new stuff. This is the new stuff. You see, I've been having some fun repositioning that bridge. This is a prototype anyway, but
yeah.
What I discovered was the necks that I buy from China for my Oakcasters are really good quality, basic things, given the price I pay, like 30 quid or something. So they're not bad at all as a basic starter, but they vary in scale length.
Right.
Which when you do research, you find that actually quite a lot of guitars vary. You know, so you think Strat.
Yeah, a Strat is one length.
Yeah, you think all Strats are 648. Well, apparently, not all Strats are 648. Some guitars seem to be 652, and yours, the one we measured just there, was 654. And
yeah.
you go, wait, I thought it was totally dependable, but what it proves is that if you're working with a new net, you've got to measure it. Otherwise, you don't know what
you got. Yeah.
So this is all these different holes here because I assumed it was 648, and I kept moving it, going, no, that's not right. It's not intonating properly. Which is a bit mad. And I finally kind of got there in the end, and all of this is going to be covered up. But being a prototype, it's probably one that I'm going to get to keep anyway. Shame.
You hate building guitars for yourself, don't you? It really sucks.
Hey. Hello. Yes. Strangely enough. There you go, look, you got your sticky thing. Yeah, I just twang with my back, a sinew or something in my lower back, whatever it's protecting. But it's red hot pokers. Oh, let's go and lie on the hammock. Bending over drilling.
Yeah, doing the sensible thing, like drilling on the floor. Like.
Doctor, it hurts when I bend over drilling.
Adults.
Don't bend over drilling then.
Yeah.
So that sounds
Familiar.
odd.
Yeah. Bending over drilling.
Yeah.
Someone's busy adulting badly.
By the way, nobody phoned regarding monies. Alright. We've pulled the bridge right off one of Mark's.
Moiderised.
Yep, re-glued it down there. To the accompaniment of a large cracking noise, which we think was the piece of wood that we're. Oh, the dark one's the
Dark one first, then light one.
Tuck it under there.
What for?
This, because it was lifting, it was coming off under force, so we've taken it off and glued it.
Does that mean that
It would eventually break off, and the action goes higher as the higher the back of the bridge goes, the forward the strings go.
So what have you done?
We hacked it off.
Yeah.
And glued it back down again.
And then cleaned it up and glued it back on. This is a bit.
Why won't it do the same thing again?
Because I've used special magic glue. That's why.
No, but will it?
It could do over time, but I honestly don't know what the answer is as to why exactly does it do it.
Well, I suppose because that's the force, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always under that force, but I honestly don't know why our fix is going to be better than anyone else's, but it will be.
It's not about being better, it's about...
Does it fix the problem?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it has.
Yeah.
Have you had it a long time with a nice guitar?
No.
It's not that old.
No,
is
it's
it?
one. Do you remember I bought the brown guitar, the mahogany Sigma?
Yeah.
That I bought this guitar because it came in a hard case, and I wanted the hard case, and the whole guitar in the hard case was going to cost me about the same price as
So
the
we
hard
didn't
case.
we didn't feel bad if we ruined
Yeah,
it.
so I just bought a guitar to get the free case that it came with.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's a handy tip, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is about as gas as you can get, isn't it? Oh, I just bought the guitar for the case.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny.
I like it though.
Oh, it's a nice guitar. It's become something that I quite like. So I was like,
It's quite pretty. It's got a good sound.
yeah, it's quite bright. It's brighter than the.
Or should we say, it used to.
Used to, yeah. I'm pretty sure it will probably play again.
Until we got into it. No, we will give it new legs, I promise you. I swear to God. I have to learn those sounds onto audio thing. I guess I don't need to post it till tomorrow, do I? CDs. Lost.
Yes.
The audio CDs. Did you see that green screwdriver, electronic one? I've now lost it.
No.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, I've got to get that done and in the post to her, but I guess it can be tomorrow.
13th, isn't it?
His birthday's the 13th, so today is the what? 10th?
Yeah.
I'm going to come outside and do some routing in a minute, so stand by. Stick. Now I'm going to come out and put this on the deck. A route outdoors. Oh. Yeah, I will. Right. Oh, in the light, the old top of this guitar looks a little bit. It could do with a bit of polishing or oil or spray or whatever it needs.
I don't know what it had. I don't think it's. I think it's pretty much uncovered. Like, oh no,
Unfinished.
Yeah. I mean, you feel it all over. It's just feels like wood.
Yeah, I think they can put a light matte white velvet on it, you know, that stuff.
Yeah. But it just feels like.
I don't think it is completely plain though, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I think it's either waxed or a very light matte finish, but you could probably get away with just blending it in, either with oil from your hands. In fact, very light oil would probably do it. How's that getting on?
Yeah.
That's alright for fun, isn't it? Give it a bit of
That's nice.
a shine.
Yeah.
If you can be bothered to mask it all off afterwards, you could do a bit of auto sol, but that's an extra level of.
Yeah.
Have you got strings for this?
Yeah. There's some in my the soft case inside.
Do you want we should bin most of these?
Yeah, I think they're pretty.
Let's chop them on. Okay.
They're pretty kludgy.
Goodbye. Another pile of metal things go to the bin. One of them was my spare one, but I don't really care either. Okay, let's since our conversation has disappeared, let's stop that.